how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, it's that time of month again, September 2024 predictions video. So, just for all of us that are like, hey, it's been wild in 2024. This has been a crazy ride, and we want to know what in the world we have to look forward to this month. So, I am going to go ahead and get into those predictions, see what we can expect. Let's find out together. And just because this has been helpful lately to do, I'm going to go ahead and show that at the time of filming, it is 6:08 on Friday, August 30th, which means technically there's still the rest of tonight and tomorrow for things to pop off in August before September, and those things might come up in this September reading. I never know. Just because I'm doing September doesn't mean things can't start popping off early. So I'm just putting that timestamp in there just in case that happens. So I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't let that freak you out. Got a good track record here on the channel. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the cards over here on this screen and move this microphone right here. Got Penelope in her greens, trying to match me in my greens, trying to be festive here, because when you read things that could get heavy or could get wild, you find support in the weirdest of ways, and me matching my microphone apparently is added support. So let me have that. And new members of the Perk Squad, y'all are matching Penelope today in your greens. So y'all have green Penelope eyes, and so does she. So that's funny. Shout out to all new Perk Squad members, channel members. We'll talk about y'all a little bit later. But I'm just going to go ahead and get shuffled up here so we can get started. These monthly readings are always open internationally because we have viewers from around the world. So this is an international reading as always. But we're going to take a peek into what we can find out for September 2024. What can we know? What are we allowed to know? What do the spirit guides want us to know? We're fixing to find out. I'm just going to open it wide open to them and see where they want to take this. So let's start. Let's start here, I guess. Okay, well, you know, lovely. Woo, 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 woo. One at a time. One at a time here. All right, so they tend to start things off with politics because that seems to be kind of a big theme on this channel. We cover a lot of current events, and a lot of current events in the world that's happening ends up being tied back to politics one way or another. So that tends to come out first in these readings. And that's what I'm already seeing here. That's why I was like, okay, when the Emperor card popped out, because this is a card that lately has been coming up for Donald Trump. This has been a card that has come up for him for years now. If y'all have been following the channel, this one has been a new one on the scene that has only come up in the last, I want to say, maybe month or so. But since he's been showing up in the last month or so, he's been showing up a lot. And it's very, very interesting. This card keeps coming up whenever we're talking about politics, and seems to be in some way, shape, or form associated with behind the scenes in Kamala Harris's campaign slash party slash space some type of way. That's been a new one on the scene. This did not show up until President Joe Biden dropped out of the 2024 presidential race. Then when Kamala took his place in that, this card started coming up. So this is can't make this up. This is just already happening. So we're going to get into it. All alleged, just my interpretation. Got to say that to please the YouTube overlords, okay? All alleged, just my interpretation. So in September, there's gonna be something that seems to be pretty big for Donald Trump. And with his card coming in the upright position here, there must be something that either will look good about him slash his campaign slash something he's doing, or will, if it doesn't look good, it will at least somehow be strong for him. Not everything that necessarily looks good is a bad thing for him. You know, sometimes it ends up being a strong thing for him regardless. So I see some kind of strength coming out for him in September 2024. And then on this other side, whoever this person is, and again, it could be an entity, it may not be an actual human being, it could be that this is like symbolically some sort of placeholder for, again, a campaign or the Democratic Party or certain people within the Democratic sphere or something. I haven't quite ironed out who this is or what it's representing. It's been a little bit nebulous in these readings, but the presence keeps coming up, and some folks in the comments have had, you know, several guesses as to who they feel like this could be, and time might tell. We might end up actually, you know, getting some sort of a name or something that turns out to be obvious later on. But for right now, this person kind of tends to be the man behind the curtain type of thing, like a Wizard of Oz type of thing. As I'm wearing all this green today, which is like thick with Wizard of Oz energy, and totally had no idea that was going to come up. So wow, interesting. But he's coming up here in the reverse position, either meaning not on the positive side of your coin, doing something that you know doesn't pass a sniff test, or that you're at a disadvantage, major disadvantage some type of way. Considering this keeps coming up in places of power in these readings, I don't feel like this person is disadvantaged, person slash entity is disadvantaged, so it feels like it would be the former, that there's something going on that wouldn't pass a sniff test around whoever this King of Pentacles is representing. So right off the bat, this is, you know, the United States politics, something about the month of September 2024, where whatever this backing behind Kamala Harris is, seems to be coming up in reverse against an upright Trump card. Which is just very interesting to see. And what ends up being between them is this Ten of Wands, this thought of how much can we pile on our shoulders before somebody drops something. And so it's going to be this look of, you know, now he's going to take something on, and then this side's going to take something on, then they're going to take something on, they're going to take something on, they're going to bite the bait, they're going to bite the bait, you know, like this kind of building type of effect in September that feels unique to September. So this is not what we've already kind of seen from either of these sides thus far. This will be a new type of energy, a new type of leveling up in a different kind of way. Makes me curious. I've heard wind that there's potentially some a debate scheduled in, I believe, in September. I wonder if this could end up, you know, alluding to that, and how that might play out. So that would be interesting if that was the case. But I see this building in some interesting kind of way here. I am going to pull a couple context cards on this before I move down to this bottom row. So let's just see. I'll get a context card on you and a context card on you. Okay. So I can't, literally, y'all hear me shuffling. You hear me doing this. Now I dropped a card because I'm doing this. But y'all hear me doing that to shuffle. And you've seen these videos before. This card has come up representing Kamala before. I mean, it's recently, so it's interesting. It has here with an Emperor card on. So on the Trump card, we get a reversed World card, and then on the card that is kind of like a reversed backing behind Kamala, we get her card in an upright position. And so what this looks like, they're saying, is the World card in reverse. This is a like, hey, it ain't over till it's over. This is to be continued. So there's some kind of a flare of maybe like, we didn't win the battle, but we want to win the war. Or, you know, like, this didn't go the way that it was planned, or it didn't quite happen the way that it was supposed to, but stay tuned because to be continued. Like, there's some kind of like not letting go, this isn't over, this isn't the end, some kind of a, you know, weird lack of closure here relative to this Donald Trump side. And over here, again, this was kind of whatever this backing is behind whoever or whatever is behind Kamala Harris that keeps coming up and keeps coming up in a bad way. She is got an upright card here, which feels like that doesn't make sense, that if they're coming up in a bad way, but she's coming up upright, which would be a good thing for her because of partnerships. Upright partnerships, because there's something strong about the partnerships there that will untie her hands a little bit. Y'all have seen the Magician card come up in reverse in these readings, and y'all know that can come up when we're talking about things that can be manipulative. I'm not trying to, I will sing it from the freaking rooftops. I'm an independent. I don't plan on voting for either Trump or Kamala. I am either going to vote third party, or I'm going to have a long, good talk with myself about, you know, what voting means and how it's important and who I feel like I can vote my conscience about or whatever. Because right now, voting my conscience doesn't involve voting for either of them. So I've got a lot to think about before November. So I am not picking sides, reading biased. I'm just literally saying what I'm seeing. Don't shoot the messenger. People who've watched my channel for years can attest that this has come up as a manipulative card in plenty of readings before. I'm just saying it again. There's some kind of manipulation here. And again, if I want to give benefit of the doubt, I could credit this manipulation to whatever this backing is, because Kamala's card is upright. So it more and more from this reading and previous readings paints the picture of like her, I guess, trying to do the best she can with what she has, and that there's some not so great people behind her though, and that they may be using her in some kind of a way as their own tool, as their own pawn, as their own whatever. Just saying what I see. I don't hold back when I see stuff. So whatever that is could prove to have some effectiveness in September. So it makes you wonder, if we see anything happen in September that looks like from her camp, even if it's not her, but from her camp, that something seemed, you know, again, mischievous, didn't pass a sniff test, possibly manipulative, things like that. We've got to take a look at that and be like, who's doing that? Why are they doing that? Is that something that's done with her knowledge and consent or not? You know, and what's this about or whatever? Because there is something here that keeps coming up, and I've done multiple readings now. It just keeps coming up. I don't know what else to say about that. I don't know what to say about that. It's going to make people mad. I say what I see. It is what it is. So since we looked into that, let's put more on this. The whole like, oh, I'll be back to be continued, blah, 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 blah. So what do we see here? The Hangman card is watching, waiting, and observing. So we're back on the Trump side, watching, waiting, and observing. Communication issues. This came up when we were looking at a recent reading about, I believe it was the reading about is there going to be, you know, an impending World War III coming? And people were asking about that. And one of the things that came up on Trump's end that was a negative against him was the whole not being able to communicate super well and smoothly in the way that's like bull in a china shop type thing. I think I used that phrase in that reading, that he has that tendency to be a bit of a bull in a china shop. If he comes off being too brash or too, you know, self-important, or too, you know, forward in a way that could come off as offensive or something like that, any kind of a thing that has to do with poor communication, that I see some issues in this. So they're bringing up a poor communication card for him in September of 2024. So something that will stick out above and beyond whatever he currently usually does, where people are like, why'd you say it like that? Or why'd you do it like that? Or like, come on, this isn't how you get that message across. If there's a message that's a good message, then fine, get it across. But when you say it like that, like, you mess up. When you say it like that, you take 2 steps backwards, not 1 step forward. And there seems to be something like that coming up in September for him that goes above and beyond what he's done so far, I guess. I do see a card here, though, with the 6 of Wands upright. This is a success card, but it's also a confidence card. So sometimes how people determine what success is has to do with what their confidence level is. Sometimes people think, you know, oh, I did really well, and they didn't. There's a chance of that too, that he could have an overinflated sense of success here. But the success card did come in the upright, so there is something here that could be considered successful about what he's got going on and brings to the table in September 2024. I see some new beginnings here ahead for him, but I also see the Moon card upright, which is not the position we would want to see it in. The Moon card upright means that there's something deep and dark there, and it's shoved in there. It's not coming up and out into the light like it needs to or should. There's something, you know, held down in there, and that's stuff that people worry about, that they don't trust, that they're like, what's up with that? Where, you know, if I want to trust this, there's something that makes me feel like I'm nervous to trust that. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but I don't know about that. It seems like you're hiding something or holding something back. There's something here that could get in the way of public trust and acceptance with that Moon card upright. So I see some issues here with both of them and both of their sides coming up in a big and strong way in September 2024. I feel like we've gone a lot just on these two, but that's where it took it. And moving down to this bottom row, our 8 of Pentacles upright, 7 of Wands upright, Queen of Wands upright. So with this feels like it's still kind of staying in the political bucket, just moving on from the two of them specifically. This is like we're going to keep seeing this, you know, practice makes perfect. We're going to lay one thing on top of another in September. So echoing kind of what they said here when they were talking about that 10 of Wands, there's some kind of just really aggregating things, just really layer on top of layer on top of layer, to the point where we're going to be like, what the hell? You know, it's one thing after another. What is going on here? We've got one hit coming in and then another one bounces back, and then like, what's happening here? It's going to be like dizzying breakneck speed with this. We're going to see this whole stand your ground type of energy coming in to September 2024, specifically in politics as well. And this Queen of Wands card upright is some other person, most likely a female or a male with very feminine energy here in terms of divine feminine energy, but this, I'm going to read it like a female card because it's our Queen of Wands, some other woman coming in here, stepping in some kind of a way, and she's coming in also in the upright position. and has something to do with all of this politically. Ooh, Devil card comes on top of her, and Nine of Pentacles comes on top of her. So very interesting here. Whoever this woman is, she's coming in the upright position in the political game, arena, whatever you want to call it at this point. And she's coming in here strong, but we've got a Devil card and a Nine of Pentacles coming up on her as well, which is to say that there's perhaps some skeletons in this closet over here. There's perhaps some things about whoever this female is. And again, like I said, this is not talking about either of these two anymore. We're not talking about Trump and Kamala anymore. We're talking about some other person, most likely a female, still in the political landscape. And I see some potential skeletons in her closet. Something here that seems to be motivated by power, status, money, personal gain, etc. coming up for her. And yeah, again, this, I want to make something of this. Could be I want to make something of this power. Could it be literally I want to make money off of this some kind of a way? So whoever this person is, there's something we've got to watch out for in terms of whoever that is that's trying to present themselves, because this is like a deep reflection moment, like deep reflect. Why is this person doing what they're doing? Why are they coming forward in September? What are they about? What's the motivation here? What's behind this? Why have you entered the political scene here in September 2024? I need to side-eye this and double take and see what in the world's behind this, because there's something else behind this than purely what she says. They're not painting her as a bad person. Again, she's in the upright position, but there's something up. Something up. So, wild month for politics. Can't say I didn't expect that, I guess. I didn't expect these details necessarily, but I expected that it would be wild politically in September 2024. But let's pull these up, reshuffle, see what else we can know about September 2024. Because that'll end up taking us for a long ride for forever. So let me go back to the fact that I was talking earlier about Penelope being green and me being green, and our new Perk Squad members also having green Penelope. So there are lots of members to joining the Perk Squad. If anybody is interested, the blue join button below or the link in the description box can take you there. It will list out all the different perks, you know, your own extended videos, your own weekly forecasts, emojis, your little Penelopes, just all kinds of stuff, and video shout outs. So shout out to you, Sarah Simmons, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you here, so thank you to you, and shout out to you, Sarah Simmons. Awesome. So, oh, shit shuffle. So let's look at another category here. Just see what in the world we're allowed to know, can know, should know, what the spirit guides want us to know about September 2024. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Okay. So, I didn't specifically ask about politics with this, and I don't feel that like this is exactly like 100% about politics, but I feel like this is politics adjacent, which makes me feel like we're looking at some kind of current events thing here that I feel like is probably talking about, you know, opening up broader than just the United States. I feel like this is kind of opening up to other areas of the world, but there's some kind of political adjacent issue here coming up, because we have once again the card that has been coming up for Kamala Harris recently, and the card that traditionally comes up for President Joe Biden quite a lot in my readings. And so there's something here that has at least some tie back to the political sphere, but I don't necessarily think that this in and of itself is fully about that. What they're showing is that there's something going on that seems to have been going on for a long time, and this is a conflict card. So we have a lot of conflicts, wars going on for a long time that are kind of big and broad and, you know, around the world. And I do see this Eight of Cups card upright. Now, there's good news and bad news about this card. The good news is this is a walking away card. This is a distancing card. This is a trying to kind of push things further, separate, that kind of thing. The bad news is we're not seeing it like this. We're not seeing it in reverse. This would be a permanent walking away. So if we saw this kind of a card, I'd be thinking like, uh-oh, are we about to pull out of one of the ongoing conflicts, wars around the globe? Are we about to end one? Are we about to, you know, is something about to be over? And that's what I would be looking for if I saw that. I'd be like, oh shit, that, you know, that here's something to celebrate in September. But instead, it's upright, which is like, not an ending, but, you know, we're kind of trying to distance from that, kind of trying to push that to the side a bit, kind of trying to, you know, that's over there, and we're doing this, and this is how we can show that we're not a problem with this, or we're not at fault for this, or we're actually doing good relative to this. So there's something like that, which could have some positive components to it, but also could be a little bit, could leave a lot to be desired. I'll put it that way. Because, again, with what we're seeing down here, we see the President Joe Biden card in reverse. We see, once again, a card that has been representing Kamala Harris upright. And we see the Hierophant card in between them upright. This is our institutions card, our government card. And we're seeing it upright. So it's weird that here's the government card upright, but we've got King of Cups here and Empress here right on either side of it. So there's some weird, there's going to be a weird interplay of things going on between President Biden and Kamala Harris in September 2024. I don't know what this strange thing is going to be here, but there's going to be some weird stuff between them. I don't know if this is behind the scenes or if this is something we're going to be privy to, but we're going to be like, you know, what's going on there? What, you know, what is this? What is this? So that's one thing. The other thing, though, is this kind of distancing looks like it wouldn't make Joe Biden look good, but it could make Kamala Harris look good because she's in the upright position. So I'm wondering if there's something that's going to be happening overseas with one of the various conflicts going on, where maybe there's decisions that are made or things that are done that could potentially have a side effect, I guess we'll put it, of reflecting decently on Kamala Harris. You know, so it would be something that's happening over there. It doesn't look like it's something that we, you know, are necessarily responsible for per se, but that there's something that goes on in one of the conflicts over there that could have a potential positive effect on or for Kamala Harris. I'm struggling to see if this is on or for, because there's two different ways you could go with that. Something could have a positive effect on this person, but it not be a positive effect like, oh, we attribute something to her, and so now we think positively of her. It could be not that, you know, it could be that. It could be something like, no, this does something for her. So on her, for her, this will be interesting. We're starting to mince words here in a way that is curious in terms of how this could play out. Let's get a few more context cards on this. So something about the conflicts overseas and things happening that seem like they're not necessarily because of us here in the United States, but could have some sort of impact on us in a way that could be good for her, or, you know, like, oop, 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 oop. Let's see. First of all, weird to get this Queen of Wands card upright again. But, yeah, this is like someone standing in the middle of both of these sides here. And, again, not sure what this Queen of Wands keeps kind of making its presence known here in the reading, but I find that to be very interesting to see that coming up again. And our Six of Cups upright, which is a family card, a card about, you know, sometimes about youth and the children and the families and this and that. So it makes me wonder if there's gonna be something that happens like, you know, like how when people talk about, you know, oh, there's American hostages that need to come home from these places with all this shit going on over there, or there's like bad things happening that affects women and children over there in these conflicts, and something needs to be done about that, or, you know, those kinds of things. Like let's you know, I've heard the word ceasefire come up, you know, multiple times or something. Like, it makes me wonder if there's gonna be something along those lines that happens overseas in September, or at least is heavily discussed in September in a way to where people are like, oh my gosh, this could actually be happening, where it's like we're the closest to it we've ever been, flirting with the line like, holy crap, maybe it could be happening or something like that. And then that could potentially, you know, boost Kamala Harris maybe. And I don't know that again, if we would be able to say this would be attributable to her. I don't know if I could say that necessarily, but that there's something here that could, and it certainly doesn't do President Joe Biden any favors from what it's showing here. So this is interesting. This is an interesting spread, what they've presented here. I don't know if we're going to get something that's like a hard and fast thing that happens, that's what people are wanting, or if we're like super flirting with that line to where it's like, holy crap, this could be happening. Like we seem so close now. But something big in this way looks like it's going to start evolving and playing out relative to the major conflicts going on over there, overseas, and how that could have an impact back home on our, you know, U.S. politics. So very interesting. Very interesting. Let's pull this up and look at something else. See what else, if anything, we can know about September 2024. And as I'm shuffling here, if you'd like to book a private reading, then BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You can book a private reading there. You can also book Reiki Energy Healing if you'd like a cleansing, clearing, and calming. You can book an intuitive healing session if you'd like some, you know, help soundboarding some things, figuring out how to get your life in the direction that you're wanting it to go. Also, if you'd like to learn to read the tarot cards the way I read them, then there's tarot tutoring on there. So all of that's on BeasTalksAndTarot.com. Check it out if you're interested. So, spirit guides, what else can we know, should we know, that you will allow us to know about September 2024 here coming up? Okay. Whoop. Alrighty. Interesting. Ooh. Alrighty, let's get a context card up on you here. Okay, well that didn't make it better. That didn't make it better at all. Okay. Let's just start let's just start up top, and then we'll kind of go down here, and if we have to expand on this thing, we will expand on this thing. But the first things first that I'm seeing something come up in September that feels like, I mean, they're bringing up this kind of earth energy here. They're bringing up this kind of shifting energy here. They're bringing up this water card here. It makes me wonder if there's going to be some quote-unquote earth events that are noteworthy in September. So whether that's some sort of big storming, or whether that's some kind of, you know, God forbid, earthquake, tsunami, whatever kind of stuff. I don't know what kind of earth event necessarily, but when you give me a card that has water and mountains, then there's something to that, and you know, just didn't want to go without saying that. So I think some kind of, you know, natural event of sorts, or even if it's something that wasn't originally natural, but it created natural events, that could fit under this umbrella too. We have had things happen in the past where stuff happens around the world that's, you know, man-made, people did it, but then it created natural events or things that spun off from that. That's possible, I suppose. But either way, I'm seeing some kind of quote-unquote natural events of sorts that seems notable for September 2024. So this is just kind of a nod to that, of just bringing that up to our awareness. But what really, I think, is getting our attention is this one down here of why on earth we get a devil card upright and then pull a context card up on it, and it's the freaking Ten of Swords upright. So, let's just see. I'm pulling extra context on this, but I'm going to pull it out this way. But it's for fleshing out what in the world we're looking at here with this Devil card and this Ten of Swords card, because obviously you can tell by the imagery that's not good. This is about negativity, extremity, things that are unhealthy, toxic, not okay, stuff that people are freaked out about. And this is about feeling stabbed in the back, betrayed, hard endings, things of that nature. So with that, we're seeing some reflection, some, hey, let's try not to be too hasty about this, and some like, okay, we're working with trying to balance things out right now because we need to be in a balance. This has gotten precarious. We can't afford to be, you know, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, icing people out. We can't be affording, you know, a lack of diplomacy here. We can't afford any mistakes relative to whatever this issue is. And the World card in reverse. So again, this sense of something that is a to be continued energy. But in this case, with some of these other things that have come up, this also is the World card in reverse. So it seems like it's gearing up towards something that really puts a lot of us at risk some type of way. So this could be some geopolitical stuff going on. This can be some, you know, weird, international relations stuff going on. This could be something about, you know, alliances versus enemies. There's something here going on that looks, again, like we're flirting with some lines that we don't need to be making mistakes on. And some potential close calls in September that make me uncomfortable. Especially like with this whole kind of weird betrayal type of thing. Like, you know, if you feel like, oh, somebody's saying this one thing and we kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt or held them to it and then they backed up over that, or something like that. There's just something here that interpersonally, interrelationally looks like it goes south in September 2024. And that could lead for a weird October. So I feel like this is kind of like, it's like September is like the setup for whatever is going on, and October is like the I'll take this from here, thank you type of thing. So some kind of a setup. I'm going to write that down because I don't want to forget that, because there's something that feels very important about that. It's a strange shift of sorts. Yeah, that has to bring about new beginnings, but it's coming from a place of confusion and manipulation. If people at the top cannot get their heads out of their asses and get it together, I swear, the little guy, all of us down here that considers ourselves the little guy, we're tired of being pawns in their chess games. What in the world? It's like one of those you laugh to keep from crying type things. I'm irritated. Oh, September 2024. Let's just all, since this has come up multiple times, let's all keep our eyes and ears open for possible signs of manipulation, what it could look like, even if we have to go into, Googling what are some signs that someone's being manipulated. What kinds of things would you see from manipulators that are techniques that they use to manipulate people? What are some techniques? Even if we have to do stuff like that to see what that is and see who out there is doing any of those things, so that we can try to figure out, oh, I see some telltale signs. I kind of have an idea of where I'm going to look and let my inner discretion take it from there. Because there's something weird afoot that I do not trust, that feels like it's a setup in September leading over into October, and it's weirding me out, and I call bullshit to this. Eyes and ears open, people. Eyes and ears open. We'll see how this plays out, and we'll come right back around in October to dig the rest of the way into this. Scooter decided to insert himself. Big stretch and a scratch. So, speaking of the little dog, maybe some people are like, oh, and smiled or something. Maybe. Let's do a B-roll here at the end of this video so that we can have some uplifting here. There's going to be a second one of these. If anybody wants to see where else this is going for September 2024, I'm going to do an extended video for Perk Squad members. So, channel members, you're going to be seeing an extended video of this. I'm going to look into what else, if anything, we can know about September 2024, whatever else the spirit guides will tell us. So that's coming up. Everyone else, there will be a B-roll here shortly for y'all to, help lift our spirits after kind of a big and intense reading. So, there will be some stuff there that helps us to get some giggles or laughs or something, makes it a little bit better than what we've just had to deal with here. So stay tuned for the B-roll, everyone, and then Perk Squad, I'm coming at you with an extended. So don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Believe me. Bye, y'all. Alrighty. They're protesting about it, especially Bodhi, but has to be done. If y'all want to regress and act like, oh, we can start pissing in this house now, when y'all have been real good about it for a long time, then you're gonna have to get used to how to walk with it on. I mean, it's literally just around the middle. It ain't interfering in your legs or anything at all. This makes Bodie look so fat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying to be serious. Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh. Yeah, look at him. Because I want to fix it at least to be straight because it's like diagonal.
Yeah. All right, fix him. He looks so big. Honestly, he did gain weight when the puppy sitter came because she had to give him treats every time he went to the bathroom. And she probably fed him extra supper. And so now we're going to have to...
That sounds ready.
Quit licking the couch, Teddy. Yeah, we've got matching boys. I mean, he's just protesting. He's got his tail tucked. It's really not in your way at all. It's just an inner tube around the middle. It's really, you're okay. You're going to get used to this. And honestly, if you didn't want this, then why did you all of a sudden start pissing on the floor like that's something you could do? In your 10 years on this earth, you've been real good about that. And suddenly, because there's a baby in the house, you think you can start? This is what we all get. We all get matching diapers. Matching diapers.